As you all know, we've been actively responding to the severe winter storm since Saturday. So for 2 days and 2 nights, we have had up to 200 people on the streets and continuing to do so to address our key priorities. So we are guided in this effort by our priority system, and the current focus is and has been on level 1 streets, so main arterials that provide basic mobility across the city. By midday yesterday, we were able to plow or grade most of our level 1 streets, but then between midday yesterday and midnight, we received additional 15 to 20 centimeters of snow, which slowed down our progress. Because of the wind gusting up to 80 kilometers an hour, we ended up with drifts on the street that are 30 to 40 centimeters in height as well. So last night was very challenging for our crews. They were working hard, but it was a bit of a balancing act between plowing and grading and also helping Saskatoon Police Services and fire get all the vehicles that were stranded on the street or in a snowbank, get them out and save them throughout the night. So that also added, there was an additional challenge that we had to deal with throughout the night. Once again, I'd like to reiterate that we are putting everything we have into this storm, and we'll continue to do so today and into coming days. And I'm hoping that over the next 6 or so hours, we will make good progress on our priority 1 streets. Once again, some of our top priority streets are Circle Drive, College Drive, Adelwhite Drive, 8th Street, 22nd Street, as well as all the bridges, overpasses, and ramps. So some of the ramps are currently on priority 1 streets and on Circle Drive are currently basically plugged up with snow, and we are addressing those locations as we speak here. And again, I'm hopeful that over the next 6 or so hours, we will be able to make some good progress on level 1 streets. Once the highest priority streets are cleared, we will move through the rest of our priority system. But just to put things into perspective, our priority system consists of 1,800 lane kilometers of roadways, which is equivalent to the distance from Saskatoon to Vancouver. So our goal is to clear those streets within 72 hours after the cessation of a snowstorm. So in this case, snowstorm is over now. So our goal is basically to clear all those 1,800 lane kilometers over the next 72 hours or so. Given the amount of precipitation with this storm, we might be delayed a day or two here, but again, working towards our mandated level of service, and we'll do our best to meet that level of service requirement. I would like to use this opportunity to remind the residents one more time to stay off the road and to avoid any unnecessary travel today, because of the, as the combination of freezing rain, snow accumulation, and high winds over the last 2 days have resulted in dangerous driving conditions. It's in some locations waist deep snow, and I'm sure if you open up your front door, you'll be able to see that yourself. So again, with the depth of the snow and the size of the priority system, even though we have 200 people working out there, the progress may not be, we may not be able to accomplish as much as we want to. So if travel is necessary, absolutely necessary, again, hoping that residents wouldn't leave their house unless they have a 4x4 vehicle that's larger with winter tires. Please adjust for driving conditions and watch for snow removal crews. They're equipped with blue and amber flashing lights. Stay a safe distance behind, be prepared to stop quickly. Some traffic signs are still likely covered with snow, and drivers should practice caution, especially at the intersections. Residents are also encouraged, if they are in a position to do so, to keep their sidewalks clear as much as possible, given the circumstances, to provide safe access for those who may be walking to the polling stations today, because today is a big event in our city, is a big day for our city. Civic election. But again, I would just ask for some patience here, and hoping for the early morning hours here that we will be able to address our main level 1 streets, and then we'll look at those those streets that provide access to those general areas where the polling stations are located. Just a reminder for the residents again, when it comes to sidewalks, please do not push snow onto the street when clearing snow from the sidewalk and driveways, as this will further clog up streets with snow and create accessibility issues. More information on our process for snow clearing can be found at saskatoon.ca/snow. And I'll pass it now over to Pamela Golden McLeod, Director of the city's Emergency Management Organization, to provide an update on our emergency preparedness plan.
Good morning, Goran, and thank you. My name is Pam Golden McLeod. I'm the Director of Emergency Management for the City of Saskatoon. And under my responsibility is emergency preparedness operations, and that includes severe winter storms. So we've entered, since the storms finished, we've entered what's called the recovery phase of emergency operations. And that means that the major impact of the event is over, and now we are working to restore normal operations and recover as much as possible of services in the next few days. Recovery sometimes actually requires longer than the actual event impact. And I think people need to be prepared and start thinking about how they can ensure their own safety over the next few days and how they can look out for their neighbors. Recovery requires just as much, if sometimes not more, collaboration and coordination on the part of all of the response agencies. So we will continue to have our meeting cycle. I want to say thank you to Saskatoon Public Schools, Greater Saskatoon Catholic Schools, the University of Saskatchewan, and Sask Polytechnique for the collaboration, coordination, and partnership last night. Some tough decisions had to be made by many different organizations last night, and I want to thank them for prioritizing the safety of their students today and to work towards ensuring that our snow crews and emergency responders can do their work today. You will hear from Saskatoon Fire Department and Saskatoon Police Service, but I want to say that we are requesting that as much as possible you stay home this morning. Goran also shared that from an emergency management point of view. We really need the time for our response agencies to do their work. And let's remember, this was not a typical Saskatchewan winter storm. This was a significant event, and we want people to stay safe, and we want to give our city time to recover and time to get our services restored. As we work on recovery, the role that you'll play as residents is again looking to your emergency kit relationships and who do you count on and who counts on you. You know, we are definitely hearing stories of the amazing work that residents have done in caring for each other last night and in helping each other out. And we're asking you to continue that. Can you connect with your neighbors? Can you connect with your friends and relatives and work on what you need to do today, clearing each other's driveways, walkways, those kind of things, and checking in again to see how people are doing. Again, as Goran mentioned, I'm going to say this, and I think you're going to hear this several times throughout this, this discussion this morning, is that we're really asking you not to travel this morning if you do not have to, particularly if you have a small car. It is not safe to be out there. And at this point, you will create a hazard and we will have to divert resources to support you. We are currently working with SHA right now on a best way to get their staff, essential staff to work. And we need to put our energy into that and making sure those services are available for everyone. If you do have to go out, please work with your neighbors, friends, and relatives and try to have a large vehicle with four-wheel drive. Make sure you have a shovel with you and hopefully go with more than one person because you may have to push yourself out at some point. I'm not recommending going out on your own at all. Be sure to let someone know where you're going and when you're expected to be there and check in with those people and plan for delays. A more detailed list of emergency preparedness kits can be found at saskatoon.ca/snowstorm 2020. And as before, we're still in a level 2 EOME Emergency Operations Center alert. We are continuing our collaboration and coordination throughout the day, and we will continually keep you updated as much as possible. Follow those reliable and trusted news sources like City of Saskatoon, like YXE service alerts, like Saskatoon EMO, Saskatoon Fire, and Saskatoon Police. And please just remember to stay safe, look out for each other, and we're asking for extended kindness for our staff and for all of the responders who are working at this event right now. Everybody is working as hard as they can, and we're just asking for kindness and patience. So thank you. I'm going to turn it over to Chief Hockle now for an update from police.
Good morning. Would you like me to go, Mark? Okay.
Yes,
so good
Chief.
morning, everyone.
Proceed.
Okay, thank you. Good morning, everyone. Fire Chief Morgan Hockle. As been stated already, please stay home today. Allow all crews to do the work required to get the streets back to normal, and also for emergency services and other groups to be able to respond. Everyone has worked very hard for the last days here. The issue for completing tasks, time frame is the complicating factor when we look at completing a task. So when I look at our last night here, the length of time taken for the number of incidents we had was very much impacted by the storm. So that is really compounding for emergency services. With that, there was the Tactical Operations Center that the police had operating, and also fire. There was 108 calls for service through the stranded motorist task force, 108. And within that, also all of our emergency response. So a number of people were evacuated from vehicles, taken to their homes. Others were helped to be able to get their vehicle moving, of course. During the night, there was 2 missing person calls that there was a search done by Saskatoon Police, Saskatoon Search and Rescue, and Saskatoon Fire. And also, we were part of, with the Saskatoon Fire Department, getting some RUH, Royal University Hospital staff to their work yesterday, and we are working with the Sask Health Authority today to see if we can assist them with that as well. In terms of that, just reiterating, please stay home, stay safe, and thank you for your patience in this.
All right. We're still waiting for our participant from the police service, so we will turn it over right now to our city manager, Jeff Jorgensen.
Great, thank you very much, Mark, and everybody for attending this morning. So yeah, as you've heard from the earlier presentations, this is no ordinary snow event. This is a significant blizzard, and no question in my mind, this is the biggest snow event we've had since the blizzard of 2007. And I think it compares to that blizzard condition in many regards. So we will clean up from the blizzard. There's 2 things that we need. We need time and we need space. The blizzard ended at about 4 o'clock, so crews were working throughout the storm. But really the cleanup event, the cleanup operations really, the post-event cleanup really effectively started this morning at about 4. So every hour progress is made with the amount of resources the city is throwing at this storm. Every hour is important. And I said we need 2 things. We need time and we need space. I was inspecting roads this morning for the last couple of hours, and the city is littered, I would say, with small cars, with cars of any size, and small SUVs who thought that they could navigate blizzard conditions yesterday evening or through the night. And there's just no question those types of vehicles cannot effectively move around in the city right now. You heard from Ms. Golden McLeod, a large 4-wheel drive vehicle with good tires and lots of ground clearance. There are many roads where you can get around, but anything else, just imagine the conditions that are out there. We had freezing rain through the day yesterday in the early morning, covered by blizzard level snow conditions. Any kind of upward pressure on your car and you have no traction at all. So as I was finishing my inspections this morning, I saw many people digging out their smaller cars, thinking that they would be able to get to their destination this morning. I highly encourage you to leave those cars at home. What will happen is you'll get out, you'll get stuck, and that will slow down emergency responders and slow down snow clearing equipment. We will provide updates through the day, and as I said, every hour progress is made. From an operations update point of view, transit will be looking to have service starting around 8 o'clock on major corridors. So 22nd Street, 20th Street, 8th Street, Idlewild and Attridge, as streets become available. They are currently clearing out the turnaround locations. So watch for the service updates from Saskatoon Transit. It could be in the 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock range that service commences. But transit service will be expanded as roadways clear, and we will update you through the day. The Safe Bus program is still available, so the same advice you've heard before. If somebody's in need today, hold your hand up, palm out in the direction of the bus, and they will make sure to give you assistance. Access Transit has canceled all non-medical trips. They are still providing medical dialysis trips today. With respect to solid waste, garbage collection is suspended today. Those operators, as much as possible, will be diverted to snow clearing and removal operations. And the service that was originally scheduled for today will be collected on Saturday, so this coming Saturday. All other operations, light and power, water, wastewater treatment, we have no indications that there are any concerns with service in those other essential services. With respect to the election, the polling stations are scheduled to open at 8, but there could be delays from just due to the fact that workers will be struggling to access the sites. Now, they've been asked to arrive early as much as possible and given the specific instructions from the returning officer, but that's just a note, something to keep in mind that those workers will have trouble getting to work just like anybody else today. Encourage everybody to make a plan to vote. Get there how you feel comfortable. Those that can walk, if you're in reasonable proximity to a polling station, please do so. Buses will become an option through the day. However you're comfortable getting to a polling station, we strongly encourage everybody to get out and vote. We will, as I said, provide updates through the day. And really noon is a significant target for us. We will, as I said, the storm ended around 4. Crews have been working around the clock for a few days now. But even, every hour counts, and by noon today, we think the roads will be in significantly better shape. So we just need a little bit of time in order to get there. And then finally, a closing note regarding safety. Heard a lot of great advice regarding safety this morning. One thing, this snow is heavy and it's drifted and it's packed. And that is a heart, this kind of snow volume, people digging out from their homes, this is a heart attack risk situation for anybody. So really, that time factor that I talked about, the city crews need, we encourage all people to take that time themselves, slow down, only do what you're comfortable. We'll dig out of this. We just all need to take a bit of time to get there. Thank you very much, Mark.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Jorgensen. And joining us is Deputy Chief Randy Huseman from the Saskatoon Police Service. So Randy, if you unmute your mic, you're on with us.
Good morning, everybody. From the police service perspective, well, we stood up our EOC yesterday at 8 o'clock in the morning, and we had police, fire, Saskatoon Search and Rescue, and our public safety unit in there. The SPS as a whole fielded 244 calls last night. 108 of those calls were diverted to our TOC center for stranded persons, which had a significant impact on our operations. The TOC remains open today until at least noon, and we'll see if we have to keep it open past that, depending on how they get the city dug out. In regards to accidents last night, there was only 9 traffic collisions. that required police attendance. And we have one missing person from last night that we're still trying to find.
Okay, thanks very much, Deputy Chief.